What's up, YouTube? If you are tired of being so easily scored on and you want to be able to become a lockdown defender on the 1v1 court, you came to the right video. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over the best defensive strategies to lock down these post scorers, these dribblers, the slashers, the push cross spammers, all the weird play styles you run into when you get on this court, bro. Make sure that you drop a like, drop a sub, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload. Before we even touch a court, go to controller settings, go to pro stick defense and switch it to absolute. This gives you better control over your player. And this next one is optional, but you can turn off your who to guard, given it's only you and your opponent on the court and no other people to switch on to. So it's really up to you.
A few moments later.
Now the first step of having elite lockdown defense is understanding your opponents. To do this, you have to understand that the majority of the players that you run into are going to fall into one of these four categories. First, we have post scorers. They specialize in twerking on their opponents until they get a bucket. Next, we have the rim runners. These dudes, they're high three ball on their builds. It's a genjutsu. They do not shoot, bro. They probably hit one shot. The rest of the game, they wait for you to step and they run past you the entire game. Next, we have the ISO dribblers. These are players who chain together combos looking for ankle breakers, easy lanes, or open jump shot. All right. Now we have those three. Then we have this one last category that absolutely pisses me off to play against. This category is called the what the hell category. And I call it the what the hell category, bro, because you really don't know what the build can do, bro. Like they'll have mid-tier dribbling, mid-tier three ball, and it's all up to their skill to see if they can actually do something with it. And then they'll have post scoring on the build somehow. Bro, they'll have all types of stuff on the build, and I'll be confused. That's exactly what you're looking at right now. But knowing your opponent's tendencies will help you adjust your defensive approach, all right? Now, before I move on to the next section, I do want to let you guys know that this build I'm using does not have a high perimeter. It's about 92, which only gives me gold badges, all right? I also did drop the build. If I remember, I'm going to put it up here somewhere. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is over committing instead of focusing on the key principles, right? First things first, use LT or L2. Holding this on defense triggers intense defense. When you're holding left trigger, that ties you to your agility. So if you have low agility, you're not going to be able to keep up with the offense. Now your agility is basically your acceleration. So how fast the first two steps are. Now you can still guard fast players with a low agility. It's just going to be more difficult and it might take a little bit longer. All you have to do is equip a takeover with device ability. But don't worry about this. If you need help with the takeovers, I broke down takeovers completely in this video right here. Now, next we're going to talk about angles. Now, some would say you always want to force your defender to the baseline. Now, that will work, but I can't say that works 100% of the time, only because a push cross always detaches me from the player. So they have an easy baseline drive or an easy reverse lay or dunk. So instead of doing that, let me show you how I guard defense and how I look at it, right? Instead of pushing the offense baseline, I always like to make sure I'm in a position just to be able to contest. So I'm not necessarily trying to push somebody anywhere. In case you didn't already peep it from watching the clips, right? There's a certain priority I have when I step on the court and I'm defending someone. I always try to make sure to get the most difficult bucket possible. It's all about seeing what your opponent is comfortable with doing and ripping that away from them, right? Sometimes the only way to peep their comforts is to provide an option, right? He has an option to either take the lane or shoot the open three. It's risky, I know, but regardless, I'm in a position to contest both choices, so it doesn't matter. I want you to throw away the mindset of having the highest contest on every jump shot or every layup, right? What you got to understand is, if you want to have really good defense on a ones court, you got to have the mindset of having just in case positioning. Watch where they are and plan to be where they aren't. We'll get into more of that later, but next up inside this section is going to be talking about the steals and keeping your freaking hands up. If you stop tapping triangle or Y, you'll see a huge improvement in your defense. The only time you should be jumping is when you're completely out of the play. Speaking of out of play, bro, if you keep spamming steals, you will end up out of the play. This is not the threes court. The safest reaches are when you're in front of euros, layups, hop steps, and dunks. Also, if they have an 86 ball handle, you can snatch that. Also, be mindful that if you reach once, you lose one adrenaline bar, which means it's going to be harder for you to get another steal. Mastering movements and positioning will instantly boost your defensive skills.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here's what you should be doing against everyone first. This is what I call an adrenaline bump. Press to offense. If he does not jab step, make sure he bumps into you when he moves. This causes the offense to lose an adrenaline bar, making it more difficult for them to score down the shot clock, alright? Another way to harass the offense, but I don't always recommend, is doing this. Pressing your opponent right after you check the rock and waiting for that ball to switch hands, and pressing square once it does. Now let's get into the certain play styles. Push crossing. I hate this move and I wish 2K would take it out, bro. If you play like this,
get the fuck out.
now he makes space with the behind the back, and me knowing how he plays already, I run towards the hoop expecting the push cross. Yo, guarding this move, you have to actually anticipate it, bro. Like, you have to see it coming. Now the move is very annoying because it's very cheesy. It moves the defense out the way. Now, if the ball's in the left hand, he's push crossing right. If his ball's on the right hand, he push crossing left. So your smartest option would be to move back, read, and react. Try not to reach, stay in the play at all times. Alright, now when it comes to rim runners, you have to be real careful. Stay back slightly and anticipate the drive, right? It's imperative that you do not chase. What's chasing, you ask? Let me show you. Chasing is trying to run at the offense after they already beat us off the dribble. Then we end up trying to catch up to them, giving them an open lane. Pay attention, right here, we're on equal footing. We are directly in front of each other. Once he takes off, I have a choice to make. Either I can step up to try to put a body on him while he's moving, which can in turn be blown by, which is called chasing, or I can move to intercept. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to follow a defender to catch up. That's chasing, and that's never ever gonna help you. A lot of times with these rim runners, you gotta take a couple steps back, for real. Like, you actually have to see how deep their bag is. You have to do a bag check. You really have to, bro, because these dudes will have a 99 3 ball and will still find a way to rim run. They would not care anything about shooting a 3. If they could rim run the entire game, they will. Bag check them, see what else they can do. If they're always running to the side and doing a hop step to see if you move up, test them. See if it's a bait or they're actually gonna shoot off of that jump. Now with post scorers, you want to press. They have low ball handling and very high interior, so what you want to do is shave off as much time on the clock as possible. As long as you have them above the 3-point line, they will not be able to go into that post and start moving you backwards. Once they pass that, bro, they will throw you. Just like every year, post scoring is cheesy and overpowered, so the way that you have to stop these guys is really corny. You have to use the clock. That's the most efficient way of stopping these dudes. Next, when you're in this situation right here and he's backing you down, do not let him get a post spin off on you. That's an automatic bucket. You have to move back and then move back up once the animation's done so you can reattach to him. And guess what? If you use that takeover I showed you earlier, if that takeover is activated, this will make him pick up the ball. Because those 2 steps after he does the post spin is the same as a drive attempt. So say you cut off a drive attempt, that means he just lost the adrenaline bar. And if I had my takeover up, I'd have made him pick up the rock. Now this guy has a 97 post control, and I want to show you how to interrupt these guys' post spins. This is a must because you will not always be able to detach and then reattach, because sometimes you just won't see the post spin coming. Now once you see the post spin coming, you want to hold L2 while holding down the left stick and tap circle. This will also get you this next animation I'm going to show you. Now, like I said, post scorers, regardless of everything that I'm showing you and how to slow them down and how to stop them for play to play, they're still very cheesy, very overpowered builds. So you have to do your best to not give up the ball because they will never get nerfed, alright? So whenever you're going up against one of them, make sure that you on your game, alright? Because I lost this game that I'm showing you because I kept missing my buckets. There's a rule out there anyway that if you lose to a post scorer, it doesn't count. So you could also just take that and run with it. If you've been following me for a little minute, bro, you know I hate post scorers. So on to the next. Next is dribblers. Now, do not let them get to the paint. The longer you dribble, the harder it is for you to hit your shot. Your mindset for dribblers should be like this, right? If he's dribbling this much, can he finish it with a shot? You play high enough to get a late contest on a 3, but low enough to be able to stop that drive. When it comes to ISO dribblers, there's no one way to guard all of them, right? Remember, have just in case positioning and focus on trying to make these guys take the most difficult shot they possibly can. If that's between a 2 and a 3, have them take a 3. If it's between a layup and a mid-range, make them take the mid-range. It's all about learn what they can do, learn what they're more comfortable with doing, and push them away from what they're doing. Now, on to the what the hell builds. Down to these what the hell playstyles. You really have to watch. If you're not paying attention, bro, you're going to get fried. You have to see what they're doing and learn early. Pay attention to their stats. If they have low ball handling, make sure you take advantage of your reach, but do not reach yourself out of the play. Pay attention to their playstyle. A lot of the guys that I play that's like this, they really enjoy the mid-range and they really enjoy the paint, but they can also shoot the 3-ball at a good clip. With these guys, you want to make sure, don't even prioritize bumping, bro. You don't want to bump them much. You want to stay in front of them. That's it, alright? Make sure you prioritize positioning over rebounds also. So when they shoot up a shot and you are in an iffy position to get a board, don't press triangle for it, bro. Just keep your hands up and protect the paint until they run out to reset. Most of the times you can just step back on defenders because they didn't watch the video I make breaking down completely how to shoot in this game. Click here, watch it. God bless, until the next one.